Hi guys, my name is Tife, aka Cake Daddy. In my short time of being a baker, I got to realize, like, if you're just starting out, you don't need a lot of things. You don't need expensive, like, fancy things that you see on, like, Food Network. You just need simple things that will make your life easier. So number one, plan to invest in, like, good quality baking pans. I think that this is such an important aspect of baking, especially if you do layer cakes. So I have these pans that I bought from the market, I think like 2 years ago, and because of the material they're made of, they bend easily. And if you've tried to ice layer cakes before, you will understand the importance of making sure that are your sides are even, not one side like poking out and the other side inside, or the other layer inside. Because when you're going around, you want to have straight it's like you want to have straight sides, because that's why a lot of people struggle when they ice a layer cake. Because their sides are not straight, the end product is not straight. So you find some cakes looking like an hourglass. You find some cakes, instead of it to be round, is either lopsided, or it's something just, it's not just like straight. And if you want to have straight edges on your cakes, those sides must be straight. Because when you go around with the cake smoother, you want to go around once or twice. You don't want to do it so much that you scrape off all the ice and have to start again. I don't like doing that. I want to go around once or twice, or at least at most 3 times, and then stop. And the best way to do that quick is to have good quality baking pans that are even and are made of good quality material. And baking pans also affect the browning of your cake, of your baked goods. Sometimes when you bake something in particular pans, it turns out a bit too brown. Sometimes it turns out a bit light brown. That's because of the quality and the material your baking pan was made of. So lighter baking pans tend to like lighter colored baking pans tend to produce baked goods that are more golden brown, and darker colored baking pans tend to produce baked goods that are more brown than golden brown. So you want to invest in good quality baking pans, because they will help out a lot when you're layering cakes. It would help make sure that your even this particular thing actually affects the way your baked good turn out your baked goods turn out. Because good quality baking pans, especially aluminum baking pans, don't let your like baked or your cakes turn out, or your cakes burn quickly. So you might start out with like market grade baking pans that bends. Just touch them once, this one side has bent, and one side has bent. But at a point in your career, at a point in your baking career, you need to plan to invest in good quality aluminum baking pans. So number two, out of all the tools I'm going to list in this video, I feel that a digital scale is the most important tool that every beginner, every intermediate, every professional baker needs. And if you don't have one by now, I want you to consider getting one, because the outcome of your bakes will change once you get exact measurements of your ingredients. And because baking is so scientific, because baking is so, there is little margin for error. Like, you can't afford to go wrong with measuring the amount of flour, the amount of sugar, the amount of ingredients, your ingredients basically. A digital scale would help you be exact about those measurements. And if you notice, like most of my recipes on this channel are in grams. Like most of my ingredients are measured in grams because it makes it easier to scale up and to scale down your recipes. And what that means is that if a recipe calls for ingredients that makes like 12 cupcakes or 24 cupcakes, and you don't want to make 24 cupcakes, you can just use like a digital scale and scale down those ingredients down, and it also saves money as well. So just think about it. Think about investing in a digital scale. To number 3, another vital tool is measuring cups and measuring spoons. Now, I say this very tentatively because of the fact that I believe so much in measuring your ingredients in grams than measuring your ingredients in cups. But sometimes measuring cups are all you have. So I've had a particular measuring cup for over 3 to 4 years, and it's broken now, but I still use it because it gives me correct, exact measurements. So you want to find those measuring cups that are very useful, are very correct in their measurements. So you want to measure a half cup of flour or a half cup of sugar and be sure that it's actually a half cup. So whenever you buy a measuring cup or a measuring spoon, make sure and do that little experiment. Change it in grams to make sure that it's actually the exact amount you want. And if you are lucky to find one that is so correct, keep it. If it breaks, keep using it, because it's hard these days to find like good measuring cups that will help your baked goods turn out fine every single time. To number 4, another great tool that you must have at some point is a hand mixer. A lot of people start with a bowl, a whisk, and a wooden spoon. That's awesome. That's great. That's if you are just, doing everyday baking and we are not whipping or making vanilla cakes often. But at some point, you need to upgrade. At some point, you need to, even though it's a great arm workout, you need to help your life and help your time and save time by investing in a good quality hand mixer. It's going to help you a lot when you're making vanilla cakes and when you're making buttercream frosting. One thing that people don't do properly is mixing the butter and the sugar long enough. And honestly, that affects the way your vanilla cakes turn out. Because the more you whip the butter and the sugar, the more the sugar gets dissolved in the butter. I don't know how it works, it just happens. So the more balanced your cakes taste. Because vanilla cakes tend to have this kind of sweet, because of the sugar, it can tend to be very sweet if you don't mix your butter and sugar properly. Another thing that can happen if you don't do this step properly with a hand mixer, or you don't take enough time to do it, is that your butter and your sugar might not mix evenly, and that can result in having pockets of butter and sugar in your final product. So just imagine you biting on a vanilla cake and you're tasting raw butter and raw sugar. Just imagine it. Another thing that can occur is that particular step helps in the process of leavening. So you find that some vanilla recipes, some might not ask you to put baking powder, because that step of whipping your butter and sugar adds to that leavening effect. So if you like this video, click the like button And if you want some more awesome, amazing baking content, click that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the notification bell, because every Thursday I'm going to be releasing these awesome tips that I know have been so beneficial to me in the 8 years I've been baking. And if you have like any issue particularly that you really want me to address in Thursday tips, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Reach out to me on Instagram, reach out to me on the comment section below, reach out to me on Twitter. Just I'm here to help you be a better baker, to become a better baker, to ensure that you don't waste money, to ensure that you make progress, and to ensure that that passion for baking stays alive. So that's it for today. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Bye.